Hey, welcome everybody to another show of BTT, Beyond the Title, where we speak with exceptional professionals with extraordinary experiences. Joining us today is Julie Hotchkins, the co-founder and COO at WeAreEves. Welcome, Julie. How are you doing today?
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. I'm doing great. Thank you, and I'm really pleased to be here.
Hey, it is amazing to have you. Now, this is our last week of Women's Month, March 2021. But I'm also equally excited to have you on the show because I loved the picture you shared with us. And of course, the work that you're doing with BREs. But can you tell us a bit more about that lovely picture of you and your lovely mother?
Yes, that's a picture of my mum. She's very dear to me. It was at my brother's wedding, actually. So that's when that picture was taken. And yeah, she plays a very important role in my life because she's such a good person to
God
everyone
bless.
out there.
Oh, and what's your mom's name?
Sue. Sue
Sue.
Hotchkin, yeah.
Shout out to Sue Hotchkins. Hey, Sue, if you're watching this, lovely happy Women's Day to you. And we enjoying this conversation with Julie as we go into BTT. Uh, Julie, a lot of the guests we've had on our show, we definitely want to ask them this very, very critical question. What is it that gets you out of bed every morning? What is your Ikigai?
Yes. I can understand that. Well, me, it's life in general. To me, it's my children, it's my job, it's a good joke, it's music, it's life. I am one of those people that I just love life. I love getting up every day and seeing what I experience that day, whether it's a good conversation, it's a people related aspect. Yeah, I really enjoy life. So there's lots of things that I would
God
say.
bless. That is very nice. It's a very nice philosophy to have, right? You enjoy every moment of your life. A very nice joke. And you've got two beautiful kids.
Yes, I do. I do. I have two sons. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice. A kindergartner and what's it called? Primary school
Yes,
student?
indeed.
God
Primary
bless.
school, yes, and one's at the creche or the kindergarten.
Now, we're all in lockdown, so, kids are studying from home, and we try our best to balance out work and, of course, trying to help the kids out. What's the best joke you've heard during their schooling at least, or during your older one's schooling time, that you remember and say, this wouldn't have happened to me if I wasn't in this particular timeline?
What's the best joke, you say?
Yeah, I can tell you a few from my son's classes that I keep getting aware of, and it's like a rolling joke with their classes as well.
Right. Well, I think there's lots of things that have happened during this work-life balance period. That's I can tell you. I think I had my son at one point who was on the iPad at one point because all the schools were shut. And so he was on the iPad next to me while I was on a call, and that there was no other option at that moment in time. And he was playing Peppa Pig and singing to this Peppa Pig cartoon. And I've also had experience that one of my colleagues' sons, well, actually, one of our suppliers came on to the screen. All of a sudden, was getting changed because he had football, and she just popped out to go downstairs to get some coffee, and kids started undressing in front of the cam and didn't realize that this whole team of people were there watching it. So yeah, those kind of things are happening.
God bless to that. God bless to that. Uh, thank you for sharing that bit with us. Um, if life were a movie, which character would you play?
I'd definitely love to play an investigator because I like finding out the underlying reasons behind things. That I would love to do, but also I'd say something like Superman or Superwoman because I mean, wouldn't it be cool to save the day, right?
Ah.
And fly, to be able to fly, that must be amazing.
uh, you mentioned investigating as well. Do you do a lot of investigating, as in with the kids or with the family, kind of a fun escape room or something like that?
Not really an escape room. It's more finding out why things happen. I think definitely that is an interest of mine to find out underlying reasoning. Why does I don't know why is a cloud grey and why is life
Oh,
why do
that's
things happen
nice.
in life by chance or not by chance and is there's science behind it new technology, that sort of thing.
Very nice. With our kids, we only do the "Who ate that cookie" investigation, or "Why is there a wrapper on the floor and not in the trash can?" Hey, well, this
I
is
have
great.
those as well. I have
um, because things are the way they are right now, right? I'm guessing there's a lot more that you're taking on. Being an amazing supermom, also being an amazing co-founder and CEO at the company. What is that one app that keeps you a bit more sane and structured during these really very busy times?
an app. Well, I'd say my calendar is probably the thing that saves me through everything. I book everything in there that I can. So whether it's kids related, personal, work, life balance, my note, I book everything in my calendar.
Very nice.
In general, it's just moments also to clear my head. So I am somebody who'll walk outside and go somewhere just to, breathe in and out and think about what I'm doing.
What does summer look like for you? I'm curious because I always ask these questions to our guests. What does summer look like for you this year?
What does summer look like for me?
Yeah, like a bit of a holiday or a period that you would walk out. You mentioned just walking out a bit and getting that fresh air.
Yeah, well, I think these times, of course, it's going to be troubling what summer's going to look like. I think for everyone, but it would definitely be going outside and to do things outside. So, in the Netherlands, you've got the luxury of being able to cycle everywhere, go to great parks. There's a lot of great parks. Beaches are very close, so
Nice.
there's a lot of nature parks to go to as well. And but it can also just be sort of sitting back in a park where my kids are on, climbing frames, and I'm just thinking about other things and watching what they're doing. So it can be any moment like that.
Wow.
That's nice.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that actually. Just to go out, great wide outdoors and get some nice hiking or at least some time at the beach if
Yeah,
possible.
I wish I could say a holiday, but at the moment, I think we're a bit apprehensive about going across borders because otherwise it would be a lot more, going to another country and visiting other
Yeah,
towns and enjoying the local cultures and food and wine and, that sort of thing.
of course, of course. Now, because the things are the way they are right now, um, there's a lot of mental health and mental stress that's been accumulating, especially if you look at employees across the board or people across the board. They are coming out now talking about it, and great leaders are now focusing on how to help mitigate some of those stresses. So how do you at WeAreEves take some of those steps to ensure that your team are either engaging openly or at least are being taken care of?
Yeah, I'd say, well, it's very important to communicate with your team. So I will always try to observe what I can to see if I recognize and identify stress, which you can sometimes see, right, in a conversation.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to be open and connect and take time for your team. So even if it's online, because you've got no other way of doing it, to really take that time out to talk to them. It's really important. I do focus on different things. Maybe I have a different background when I was younger, that I used to be a nurse. And I think
Nice.
as a nurse, you've got this always stress that if you make a mistake, it might cost someone's life, right? Which is really, a stress that you
True.
have in your work. And I'd say in business, that won't happen, that you're likely to impact someone's life, at least not in the business that we're in, right? So there's no need to stay wide awake and like be worried and stressed about work. So we tell our staff, if you're, awake, you think you've got too much on your plate, talk to us. We can't look in your head. At the end of the day, you're responsible for your own happiness, but you do have to tell us sometimes because we can't always see what's too much, right? We can try and
Sure.
assess it as best we can. And we do other stuff to, fun stuff. We still try to do team events. Like we've done an online drawing team event, and we've done some other online events where we've had somebody who was the host in our team, and we rotate that. And every Monday we have a exercising. So at 9 o'clock, everyone's logged in. You have to have your screen on, and everyone just does that with a trainer. We do it for half an hour, and it's just fun to get everybody moving. And yeah, while we can now, we are trying to look at building in a walk, so you can do one-on-one walks at 1.5 meters distance, of course,
Very
to
nice.
on a rotation basis as well. So that's what we do as much as we can to keep everybody, yeah, stress-free where possible. But it's not easy. I think it's hard for everyone in these times. But I think it's also taken away a lot of stress for a lot of people because they're not traveling as much. So we also had people, with families, stuck in traffic and that sort of thing. And I think because they don't have that anymore, a lot of people are actually more relaxed in what they're doing. So yeah, all in all, I'd say we're quite lucky. We've got a great team who's very strong, to be honest.
Kudos to you on that. Kudos to you, Julie. Uh, by the way, I love the idea of this team exercise every day for half an hour.
Every Monday, we do it once a week.
Every Monday, sorry, every once a week. So do you guys go into aerobics? Do you guys do yoga, or is it a mix of the lot?
Yeah, it's now at the moment it's a power training, so it's quite tough for a lot of people. So now actually Esther, the co-founder CEO, she would like us also to do a mindful breathing. So we're actually looking into what we could do as well to do another half an hour a week, which is really, for Zen breathing techniques and more action. So, relaxation, something like Tai Chi, or we're looking into that at the moment to another half an hour a week.
If you guys are going to do this live at any point in time during the week or weekday, I'd love to join you guys for something as fun as this.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I look forward to my invite. Hey, Julie, so you've had this amazing journey getting from from after school to this point where you're a co-founder, and you've developed this amazing team. What was your first job, and what were some of the learnings you'd take from that, and implement it now and say, yeah, this is how I built my personality, my leadership, and what I've done so far?
One of my first jobs, are you talking about when I was really young? So, well, I think when I was about 14, I started stacking shelves. That was one of my first jobs in my life. What I could take from that, I think, you realize then how things work behind the operations of shops. It's not as easy as you think. There's a lot of things that have to happen. But I would take into that, I think what I've always done throughout my career, that's also maybe where I'm from, up north in England as well, is that you look at, I think every role in a company is important. So I won't look at the hierarchy is important because you have to, of course, if you're managing a company, for example, with 10,000 people, you can't have all 10,000 people copying you. So and emailing you. And so you're going to have to need some level of hierarchy in there. But I think it's really important to recognize and identify that every role in any company is important. So whether you're admin, you're a cleaner, whatever else, I have taken that throughout my career from all the jobs I've done, that you identify and you recognize just how important everyone's role is in society with what you're doing, and you're not better than anyone else just because you have a different title or whatever else. And I think I've always taken that with me and have a lot of respect, for hardworking jobs, especially, carrying jobs and stacking shelves and, people doing a lot of physical labor out there. It's some jobs are really tough. So I have a lot of respect for the different levels of functions and whatever level of education background people have. I've taken that with me throughout my career.
There was a very interesting study that was done. I'm either thinking it was McKinsey or one of those amazing research companies, where they mentioned resilience is built into those who are doing a lot of labor oriented jobs. And I think a lot of that also speaks to some of the guests we've had on the show who've had those kind of labor intensive jobs. And you mentioned you started off stacking shelves back in the day. There is a certain amount of resilience you are kind of ingrained with just doing that day in, day out, and knowing the process and the operations behind it.
Yeah, I think I could recognize that for sure. For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what is the biggest leadership challenge that you're facing right now in this time?
Yeah, I think it's for your team. I think it's ensuring your team's engaged. Like I said, what we just talked about stress. I think it's good to ensure that everyone's okay in this time during Corona. Just to check, there's so many things going on personally in relationships, maybe separate aside from the business, that you really need to consider. I'd say it's also keeping the focus as well. We're balancing as founders a lot of different functions and roles, disciplinary roles. So it's, really to keep that focus and give your time to think, right? I think the number one thing you'll get on any, strategic leadership training is you need time to think. And when you're sometimes in your day-to-day operations, to take that time out to say, no, I need to clear my mind and put the focus back in where we're going. I think that's always going to be a challenge. especially, well, when you're in operations as well.
True, so true. Do you take some time every day to just recalibrate yourself and just to, kind of reflect on everything you've done or going to do for the day?
I try to, but I don't do it enough. I don't do it enough, for sure.
Completely understand. Completely understand. I tried myself, and it's been impossible to keep that one time to do all. I'm guessing you have the team, you've got the family, everyone's asking questions of you, and yeah, you kind of get stretched out from all sides.
Yeah, you do. But I must admit, I've been quite used to it because I think I've worked in the past as well in TNT Express, which is now FedEx, and in Adidas, and I'm used to having teams, big teams that are contacting you, and your email inbox going on 24/7, pretty much. So I'm used to it. But yeah, you do have to really sometimes just say, right, that's it. I'm going to go out of the office. And I actually take out, or together as founders, I'll be like to Esther, our CEO, I was just like, we're going out now. We're going to sit that day in the office and we have to do this because otherwise it's not going to happen. When you keep sort of saying, write the strategy down, make sure it's clear for the whole team. We've got it in our heads, but have we actually communicated that in the best way possible? We really have to focus on doing that regularly.
That's actually a very nice practice to communicate the strategy through the entire team so they're working towards that unified mission and goal.
Yeah, we do that. We make sure that we do that. So any changes in our strategy, we give updates, and on Mondays as well. So after we've done our workout session, we have actually the welcome week team meeting online.
Nice.
Everybody comes online, and we give quick updates on there. So where are we going? If there's anything strategically, but also each business area will give quick two-liners of what their focus is for the week, and that's really
Awesome.
good to keep everyone on track.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, Looking at the future as we are right now, what is your one or maybe two biggest hopes for this period of time for for the near future?
Yeah, that we don't have to talk about all these gender issues, right, anymore because things resolve by themselves, right? Companies don't have to put in quotas by naturally, women are moving up to different levels in the organization. That doesn't need to be discussed anymore. Also, I'd say that that technology develops itself in such a way, in a sustainable way, so that we can feed the needy and the hungry, because I think there's so much that can be done with technology,
Yeah.
but also by putting the heads together of some of the wealthiest people in the world, their wealth, and bringing it all together to build what's really needed for those that are less fortunate from us. I think there's a lot of steps that can be done there, and some programs, that you're seeing now as well to improve wildlife and everything. Yeah, that we get more sustainable and that technology helps us to do things better and more efficiently.
I My heart goes out to those three very important pillars that we also run at Insider as well. So our guest last week, Susan Pratchett from Vice Media, also from your neck of the woods, she had mentioned, how Vice was doing this across the board, across different across all of its departments to help identify where they are lacking that particular gender diversity and also be more inclusive in nature. I think a lot of companies are aware of it. They're doing that. And I'm praying and hoping that in the near future, that will no longer have to be a conversation we need to have. Uh, can I ask you some of the sustainable practices you do have right now within WeAreEves or within your community that you're inspiring towards?
Well, at the moment, we want to do a lot more with that in the future. We are looking at, because we know, for example, in cosmetics that people spend, they try 5 to 10 before they find the right product for them. So, one of our things is that they come to WeAreEves and they find the product that they're looking for much faster because they can identify, in the reviews, what will work for them, what won't work for them for similar profile types. So those are one things that we find important in terms of reducing that waste. And there's a lot of trends going on our platform itself. So you're seeing a lot of changes towards where it's going in the industry with, less waste, sustainable packaging. So there's a lot of things going on there. So we hope to do our bigger part to support those things in the future as well.
I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying that. I'm hoping to hear from you as well how this has impacted the rest of the cosmetics industry in very very near future. Julie, what's that what are some of the interesting facts about you that we don't know of yet that our audience would really enjoy knowing more about?
About me, myself.
Yes, of course.
An interesting fact. Well, I'm a football player. I'm absolutely
Nice.
mad about football. I've been playing since I was 9 years old. I love football. I now play for fun. I used to play a lot higher when I was younger. That's one of my biggest passions. And random, I do voices, so Bart Simpson, Donald Duck. I'm not going to do them now, but
Oh.
completely random.
For those of us, for our viewers in the US, please note this is soccer, American football. No, this is the European football slash soccer. Hey, what position do you play?
I play well, usually right wing player, right or left.
Nice.
I also sometimes play defense at the moment. So I used to always be the right wing, but not anymore.
That's a tough position to be. You're literally the wall before the goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, well, that was when I was definitely, yeah, defender, yeah,
The
indeed, right,
defender.
for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I don't mind where I'm playing on the field as long as I'm not the keeper and I'm not in the center of the field. And so left side, right side is fine. But as I said, I play now much more for fun. I'm getting too old to be on the field.
And you sure I can't persuade you for a Bart Simpson or a nice bit of Donald Duck accent impression?
Maybe on a separate note, with a beer.
There we go. So BTT will be next held with a beer in the evenings from next episode onwards. um, what are some of the proudest moments in your life?
Proudest moments in my life. There's many. I'd say, wow, the days my sons were born is definitely, I'd say, saving lives when I was a nurse, or helping people on their
Nice.
journey towards exiting life, that it was peaceful for them. Um, yeah, developing people in my team that started, insecure and young, and watching them spread their wings and fly into better roles as they grew in their career. Starting WeAreEves, of course, working for some of the companies I've worked for. No, I feel very fortunate. I'm in good health, and yeah, there's so many things I'm proud of so far in the journey. And they were the best moments, I'd say, of my life. Those four, I'd say, pretty much.
God bless. One last question, because I did not ask you a lot more about your nursing job. Um, you'd mentioned being a nurse, and you just mentioned about how you helped a lot of people. Um, what was that like? Compared to a corporate life right now.
It's very different. I mean, I can't do it anymore. I can be honest about that. It's due to back troubles. I chose difference in career, and I also wanted to go into business because I thought then you can do things at a larger level. It's the small things that you do that make people happy, which you sometimes miss in how things can be in business. So
Yeah.
if you have for example, an elderly lady who's old and she needs a shower, for example, and you wash her hair and you comb it, and she feels fabulous that day, and she's so thankful for that moment. And the family comes in and they're so thankful that she looks happy and healthy and her hair is done, and those moments are magic. And you sometimes will miss that in business, because a lot of people, everyone's on their own track,
Sure.
and they sometimes forget to say, just a small thank you, or to treat someone with respect. Yeah, I think that's a shame sometimes, that you see that it's, the fast-paced environment is sometimes, stopping people to sometimes reflect on what other people are doing. You don't see that as much as you do in the healthcare.
Of
That
course.
people are so pleased with something so small that you do. Yeah, that's magic, I'd say, that you don't have in any other. And I have so much respect. My sister's also a nurse. She's taking care of corona patients, helps people during operations, and yeah, you just have so much respect. I'll always have so much respect for everybody who's caring for others. I mean, seriously, thumbs up to all of them.
Julie, can I ask your sister's name too?
Yes, it's Sarah Hotchkin.
Sarah Hotchkin, hi, and a big shout out to you. Thank you so much for your lovely service and continued support for all the people that you help and take care of. To Sue, I know you're amazingly proud of this two amazing daughters that you've got, and of course a son, because I remember the wedding, and that's where the picture was
And I
taken.
have another sister. No, I do have another sister as well, Helen
Wow,
Hotchkin.
God bless Helen, you too. Big shout out to you. Julie, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I really enjoyed learning a lot more about you, your family, and the work that all of you are doing. By the way, is Helen also into healthcare?
No, she's not actually. She's an English teacher. She teaches at one of the most famous language institutes of the Netherlands. It's called Regina Celli. No, she teaches English there, so she's good at that. She gives a lot of people confidence to speak in English
True.
and trains them. And she's a strong person. She's had a husband who's had a terminal. No, he was terminal at one point, but they ended up fixing him with a new technology for cancer. So he's
Wow.
still with us, which is really
God
great.
bless.
And my sister's a very strong person and a very loving person. So yeah, I'm proud of her. If you'd say who am I proud of all the people in my life, it's definitely the women in my life, my mother and sisters, and my brother's a great guy too.
The Hodgkins are a strong and very, very amazing bunch. I'd love to see all of you together. And maybe for the next interview, we have your entire family picture with us. Julie, was amazing having you. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Steve. Enjoy the
Thank
rest
you.
of your day. Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys. Everyone who is watching us right now, thank you for joining us. We are back again every Thursday, 10 a.m. CET, 5 p.m. Singapore time. Now, if you are interested to participate or join us as a guest, do drop us a comment on YouTube or drop me a DM on LinkedIn. We'd love to get to know you better. But till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Ciao.